Hey guys, Ms.Roopa here, and I'm going to bring you one final insect lesson to wrap up our study this week, which the topic was insects. And today, I'd like to talk to you about moths. And you might say, Ms.Roopa, we've already talked about butterflies. How are moths so different? We thought they were the same. Moths and butterflies are actually very different, and that is what I'm going to start my lesson on. So let's talk about those differences, all right? So, when you see a moth like this one and it lands on a plant or a tree, you're going to see that the moth leaves its wings open, okay? Whereas if a butterfly, like this one over here, lands on a flower, it is going to close its wings. So when they rest, moths keep their wings open and butterflies close their wings, okay? Another difference is that butterflies, like this one, have antennae that are very long and thin, okay? Whereas moths have very feathery and short antennae, and I think they're so cute. Little bitty feathers just sitting right there. I can't even handle it. Also, another difference. Butterflies generally gather their food during the day. That's why we see them when we're outside playing in our yards or whatever we're doing. We see little butterflies going out and doing what they need to do. Whereas moths generally tend to go out at night. So that is why if you leave your porch light on at night and kind of check outside, you will see moths constantly flying around that light, okay? Very, very cool. Also, one more thing, and if we're thinking about the life cycle, yes, the life cycle of a moth is the same as the life cycle of a butterfly, but when they are in that cocoon stage, a moth's cocoon is very silky. It is very beautiful. It's kind of a pearl color. Very, very pretty. So a silky cocoon, whereas the butterflies are more of a shiny material, okay? Like I said, the life cycle of both the moth and the butterfly are the same, but here's the cool thing. When the adult moth emerges from its cocoon, its only job is to find another moth to mate with. Moths do not have mouths. So when you're thinking of a butterfly, butterflies have that proboscis that they use to gather food like nectar from flowers. Moths do not have that. They do not have mouths. They do not have the ability to eat. So when they emerge from that cocoon, they only have a certain amount of time to find a female moth, okay? And once they find that female moth, they will mate and the female moth will produce eggs. If they do not find a female moth in that certain amount of time, they do die, okay? Because they have no nutrients in their bodies to help them survive. So I thought that was a neat fact about moths. One really, really beautiful moth that you will actually see plenty of at night if you do leave your light on is called a Luna moth. And that is one specific one that I wanted to share. And here is our Luna moth. Beautiful. You can see that Luna moths are actually rather large. They are on the larger side of our moths. And they are a part of a group called Saturnidae moths. And that's just a fancy word for silk moths. And some silk moths can actually get very, very large. But our Luna moth is lime green color, and you can see those eye spots. So those very defined eye spots. Those are defense mechanisms, and we've been using that word defense mechanism with other animals that we've talked about. That helps to deter predators. So they'll see those eye spots on that Luna moth and go, whoa, that's not what we thought that was, and they'll go away. From the Luna moth, and that's how it kind of protects itself. So the caterpillars are usually green, just kind of like the color of our Luna moth. And again, those eye spots are a very prominent feature. So moths are beautiful. The largest moth in the entire world is called an atlas moth, and wingspan to wingspan is 6 inches long, which is a very large wingspan for a moth. They are different from butterflies. Let's go over one more time those differences. Antennae in a butterfly are long and thin. Antennae in a moth are very short and feathery. Moths do not have mouths, whereas butterflies use that proboscis to get the nectar from the flowers. Moth cocoons are very silky, whereas butterfly cocoons are very shiny. And lastly, when they rest, a moth rests with its wings open, and butterflies rest with their wings closed. So I hope you enjoyed our week study on insects. We have talked about so many different things, and there's so many more insects that we could learn about. So I hope you'll take some time over the weekend to research your favorite insect. And also, if you don't mind, like, subscribe, and share to our channel, Learning with Miss Roopa. That helps us to be inspired to get more content out to you guys. And it also will allow you to know when we do put out a new video. So I hope that you guys have a great weekend.